Hi, everyone. I'm Barry Stagner, and this is his channel Newsbreak. A man in a mask and combat gear was fatally shot Monday morning in downtown Dallas after he opened fire with an assault rifle outside the Earle Cabell Federal Building. No one else was injured. FBI Special Agent in Charge Matthew DeSarno identified the gunman as Brian Isaac Clyde, 22 years old, at a news conference on a street corner near the Federal Building. Clyde died at the scene and was taken to Baylor University Medical Center, officials said, and neither DeSarno nor Aaron Neely Cox, U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, gave any indication why Clyde targeted the federal building. They also did not say who shot Clyde after police responded to an active shooter call. We're looking into motive, DeSarno said at an afternoon news conference, and DeSarno said the FBI had not investigated Clyde before the shooting, and he was not on any kind of watch list. Investigators were aggressively perusing his social media presence, the agent said. Dallas Morning News photographer Tom Fox saw Clyde fire outside the building on Jackson Street and took photos as the shooting occurred. Fox said Clyde fired from the parking lot across the street toward him, another man, a security guard, and a woman who was walking a golden retriever. The windows in a revolving door and two side doors at one entrance were broken, and it was unclear whether Clyde or law enforcement personnel had shot the door. Fox's photos showed authorities surrounding Clyde as he lay in a parking lot where he'd run and fallen after the shooting. In one photo, a Homeland Security agent wearing blue latex gloves is hovering over Clyde. In others, Clyde is shirtless and law enforcement officers, including the agent, kneel around him. On Clyde's left arm, he had a red heart tattoo with the silhouette of a cat inside of it. Fox, who was questioned by the FBI, said he had been outside the building when Clyde parked on the corner of Jackson and Griffin Streets, and Clyde ran and then stopped on the sidewalk to pick up a loaded magazine he had dropped. He then began shooting at the courthouse along Jackson Street as security personnel on the first floor pushed people to the ground. At least 2 bullets ricocheted off the building, spreading clouds of dust and debris. Children were used as suicide bombers in a triple attack in Nigeria on Monday, Unicef has reported. 2 girls and a boy carried out the bombing outside a video hall in Konduga village in northeastern Borno State. The UN Children's Charity gave the report, saying their ages are not yet known. Officials say at least 30 people were killed and 40 injured in the attack. And the bombing is believed to have been carried out by the group Boko Haram, and it has not yet commented, according to UNICEF. However, 5 children have been used in suicide attacks since the beginning of the year. In 2018, 48 children were used as human bombs in Nigeria, including 38 girls. UNICEF appeals to all those involved in this terrible conflict to protect children at all times and keep them out of harm's way, the organization said. Formed in Borno State, Boko Haram has waged a brutal insurgency across the northeast for a decade. As part of the ongoing armed conflict, thousands of children have been recruited and used by armed groups as combatants and non-combatants. UNICEF said girls are raped and forced to marry, with some becoming pregnant in captivity and giving birth without any medical aid or care. The blast took place outside a hall as a group of people gathered to watch television. Ali Hassan, leader of a self-defense group in Konduga, told the Associated Foreign Press News Agency that the owner of the hall had prevented one bomber from entering. There was a heated argument between the operator and the bomber who blew himself up, he said, and 2 other attackers who were nearby then set off their devices. The number of casualties was high because emergency services arrived late at the site of the blast. Well, again, we see the loss of natural affection, I should say, and the love of many growing cold, giving us again a reminder to keep looking up.